Welcome to me. Just today, late with things going on. Back a course like a adult education, it's one to do that I'm really good at, which is computer work. Struggle. All the notes on the course I did, a basic computer course, so I could go and work through that. But if they get stuck, they can, which is good learning. So, it's for clearly May, we've just gone over Mother's Day, so I'm a bit late at the beginning of the month. So we'll do Earth Sign stuff today. Now I've started and I flipped out the Three of Wands and then the Star and then the Nine of Stars. So what I'm seeing from that immediately is that you may have got 3 job offers coming up, or 3 ideas that you've got in the works that you might be looking at doing as a sideline business, as a side hustle like I'm doing now, or you might be thinking of doing that plus study plus work. You might be juggling a few balls right now, like I have been. So we've got the 6 of Staves, and then you've got crossing your path is the Star. For me, that's an Aquarian card. It's the Star, which means you may be a star. You may have your own platform. You could be an Aquarian, and in that case, I would be using the gift of communication, which is, you know, a bird, or if you see lots of birds around you, that could be communication. Normally with air signs, it is all about chatter. You may have a cross be with a Gemini trine, so you're doing Aquarian with Gemini trine, and again, this will mean communication of some sort is going to come through about a work, or work that you're looking at doing, or work that you're looking at trying to seek out. You may be looking online for work today, which I know I will be, but nothing too full on because the course is full on, and we have models and things like that. It's been over 10 years since I've done this course, so it's all different, it's all changed. I've never done nails, I was never into nails. I remember doing it, but it was with emery boards. Now I've got these things called e-file, which is actually a file like sanding, basically. You've got a false nail and you're performing nails on a nail, or removal of nail paint or paint polish from a false nail or an overlay. So that happened to me. I struggled because I was used to it, didn't know what pressure to put on. And the ball gear that we practice on real fingers, so it took me off. Now you've got the 6 of Staves, when the Knights won the 1997 Renal. I can't remember who it was against. It was the Eagles? I could be wrong. I'm not sure. When they won in Sydney, they came home and they had a huge of honour. The they made, and Joey Johns was on the bus and they played YouTube Day on the bus ride home, and everyone was such a good and they had that town. So that was a really big event. It's something like that. You may be coming out of something, or someone's going to celebrate success coming through enormous journey you've been on. And it might be over the case or a course of like over 5 to 7 years. You could have been unwell. You may have been very sick with COVID. And I know a lot of people have had COVID. I've been one of them. I've had it several times. Even though I've taken the booster shot and I've had recently a flu shot. The booster not long before it's not out yet. It's due for a new one, but I'm not getting another one because it doesn't seem to be helping me. So what you've got around you is what I'm seeing is you're trying to get some sort of balance. You're being celebrated for all you've gone through, but you want some balance, and you're trying to get your health under control, which is what the dark is about. Be that you want to look at your health and then work back from there, exercise, and maybe a new exercise program or regime because you are doing something in the health industry. Got here 7 arrows. You make defense to someone's energy, picking up on an energy that's past tense, that you no longer talk to them anymore. It could be the father of your children. I've got here a King of Cups, but it's saying you're on the defense. You don't want to be interfered with when you're trying to sleep. And you might be dreaming about them because you come in contact with one of your children that feels protective of them and knows that they're going through some stuff right now. And you may have picked up on that energy when you've been asleep. Now, if you're like me and you do psychometry, psychometry is a real thing, and it's when you're touching jewelry or objects or people, and you pick up energy off those people, and it could be memories, it could be old memories, it could be future events, but it usually has to do with the energy that you're around, that you touch, that you'll get a reading from, is what I get from this. And maybe this King of Cups is around your aura, your auric field. You're channeling messages from their memories or their past because a child that you might have seen on Mother's Day that's particularly close to them. But what I'm picking up is that you've got a King of Cups. Now they are represented by Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces. So you may have a Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces that's around your energy or influencing things around you. What your hopes and fears are is you've got the Four of Cups, and to me that's like a standstill, a day of rest. You may be having a day of rest because you've had a busy couple of weeks with this new course. The Four of Cups can also represent, you know, you may be resting on a decision to make about a person, place or thing, whether to keep in contact with them because they've got ties to your past and they may be going backwards and forwards with communication and information on you. They may be trying to seek out information through a third party, which can be, or a fourth party, children that are running back and on you or telling them what you're up to, or they could be just watching on social media to try and figure out where your head's at, if you're seeing anyone. So that thing at the moment. So I put Star of could be starting to get a huge following online, overseas, with what you've been trying to do for a while. I started my channel back in 2020, maybe 2021, the beginning of, and I didn't have a proper setup. I was just using my mobile phone and filming it, and then I borrowed a laptop from the library. So it was not like I had a proper sound machine or know how to video or edit or any of those. Still trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm sure there's online programs you can do it, but time recently because I've been so busy with other things. So if you've got the Pisces around you, I would suggest that with Pisces, what they need is protection. They feel a need to self-protect. So black obsidian is a good crystal for that. It's an earth sign, an earth energy, so it will belong to someone who's very rational. And you've got if you're helping good rest, something or is blood which helps you fix your health. A candle with inscripted on which is on the candle to bring healing to me, basically. It's a blue to green candle, which is mine's own. It's healing and hand, and I'm using it to bring good health so I don't get sick. Love, the final out of that, and blood also helps. They say it's in the blood. Blood protects from the from illness and different styles of Pisces. I've got where I've got Cancer in my chart. Is Cancer Scorpio chart. So section that's protective is if you've got Scorpion in high psychic. Well, for love, the final card that I've pulled is the Four of Staves. Now, Four of Staves a marriage or a new look or because she's in a new relationship. That is to love, to amplify those three energies. When I those so a pure Christian world, and you may have in a stressful situation learning putting on yourself because you're yourself. People are like circles to it. It doesn't always happen like that. It's going to get further info, but the thing for me is waiting for you to come in. You've got 6 about where you had to move from a climate to a cold climate or a climate to a hot climate. Also, getting away from stresses in your life. We've got 3 ones. Is talking about other things. Well, sorry, the star saying and others. 2 things. Reality, awareness, involved. The belief esteem to me. Temperance is what if you use is a balance. Work life balance is thing. You took too much on last time you did this course. You may have had a plus the course plus children and you and the homework you do outside work, knowledge, the health industry, which is forever evolving and changing. And you do have to keep up on new developments in medication and interventions and contraindication in all the fast, all different, all online. There's emails now. Everyone emails their scripts to the pharmacy, which is, wasn't around back when I started pharmacy. You had them on file in a physical file where you look it up and find the name and then leave the scripts in the cabinet with a lock. But that's all changed. And it's all online. Everything's completely different. So you might be thinking, well, if I want to take on another thing that's new or has changed and evolved, that's more pressure. Maybe you don't need that right now. You're just trying to get your head around this new course that you might be doing currently. Then we've got Wands, which in this book, this deck is called, so I haven't introduced it, The Lover's Path Tarot by Chris Walder. And I like it because it's got a lot of nice imagery on it, and it's pretty different, but I've had to write things like temperance on balance because it's something in the I guess the guide to it, so that's why I kind of write it on the card so I'm reminded what to look up. So I'm looking up balance when it's actually temperance. So we've got the balance card as you trying to balance out energies. It's also a sign of maybe you have a chart in your chart, a Sagittarius in your chart. And the Chariot is all about movement, and the Star and the Temperance card work together because they both represent the starry skies or the starry night. So when you're in darkness, there's always stars to guide you home. Remember that there's when angels all passed on loved ones that have gone out of a deep you may have been in. You may have been grieving for someone recently. Healing through temperance is, from memory, I think it's not wisdom, love. I think it's love. Yeah, with the Star and temperance is love, and the Star, and there's another card with stars in it, which represents wisdom, the healing with the wisdom card, which is, I think, the Hierophant. So there's that. Temperance is 14. Yeah. Integration, moderation, balance. It's union, conscious and the unconscious aspects of the system. And that's what it's saying. Or maybe trying to find a place between head and heart. Maybe your head and heart is what you have to choose from when making a decision on someone new that might be coming into your world. They may also be a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer around you. or maybe they have those energies in their chart, or they may be a Sagittarian because you've got the balance card there. Or you might have a couple of people. You may have 3 opportunities because the star card crossing your path could also represent another fellow Aquarian interested in you. And sure, there's still you might still because the 3 they may be a relationship because you don't think to them because they might be an emperor. This person, other person, who also may be married to someone else, is in the position of a couple. They may be a perfect match. Both be Taurus Capricorn power couple around you that have outside suitors. Like Guinevere was really interested in Lancelot, and Arthur knew that Lancelot was his favourite knight, and he swore a protective oath on Guinevere. But like Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and, I'm thinking right now, Whitney Houston, she fell in love with a bodyguard, and it happens quite often. I think Britney Spears also fell in love with a bodyguard, and the backup dancer was interested in J-Lo. So the protector is like 3 in this situation, and one of them could be married or trying to leave a marriage because of illness, or they've not gotten along with the person for quite some time, and they're there because of the children, and it happens quite often. Especially if there's a girl involved and you've got the protective father, and they stay with the little girl. Sometimes they leave or stay for the little boys. Well, it depends what your situation is. There's no deviation between masculine and feminine energies. We all have them. You may have one particular child it presents or presented to the world as a male that has a lot of feminine qualities in his chart. Is what I'm picking up as well. Now what I'm going to pull is an oracle card because I think we want some clarification on the Emperor. Yeah. Round and round. Oh dear. Cycle here. That's to me the wheel of fortune. To possibly taking out a ticket or a scratchy ticket would be beneficial for you. And you're listening to a higher power. And you may have a whole looking over you or working with you, looking at you because they have passed over. They haven't got parents with them anymore, into a different realm. They're still here, but they're not on the 3D, they're in the 4D. That would make a lot of sense to me. So we've got round number 20. It's the appearance card as a reminder that appears backward. Or look at the learn something, and you're so again talking about communication. I have a third view, which communicate with the loved one. I'm people, the people that I sometimes hear them in a form. They glimpses in my or from an object that belongs to them. Thank you. Are you wondering how did I get right now? You're dining with others. Maybe familiar. Sort of may attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Sorry, it's notifications going off. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is eventually challenging. You have been drawn to this person through perfect spirit for your evolution. You circle back to a custom spot, a familiar place, but that's fine as you get to do things again, only differently this time. For you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain again. If you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it is because you have been invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have in your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you, who sabotages you, and who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's time to get a coach or who can see what you can't own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Yeah. So look out for a support worker. You know, I know at my Atwood College, if they have some learning support. So if you feel you need some help, certain aspects of computer work, I struggle to get the help. Don't use their computers in a day when you know you've got someone to help you. You will free yourself from the old cycles and cease going round and round. Now the higher power is listening to the divine. And again, for yourself, you're actually loved ones directly from God, from the divine, and it's actually not just your power. Your channel messages from the higher power, divine. So you can't have a huge over it because it's yours to say it's yours to someone's insights as well. Conscious contact with a higher power. This card reminds you that you are more than a person trying to get and make things happen yourself and an immortal soul and a gifted with life through which a higher power can express itself. At this time, you with your connection to spirit and foster it through prayer and meditation. What is the highest good for all? How can I serve? And then get out of your own way. That there is a plan for your life more wondrous than you can ever know. You're always protected and directed. Yeah. Recognize your partnership with spirit, higher power, God, goddess, spirit, or any other name that is sacred and holy. There is a deep spiritual bond between you and another person who is essential to your growth and your evolution. Tend to your spiritual connections and remain aware of their true power. You may get rushing in, inspiration come up from a wellspring you didn't know you had. When you're agreeing, deals with your partner, always the synchronicities and intuition will help you which will be giving you confidence to move forward in the right direction. Don't forget where it's due. Be about Spirit's guidance. Humility will see well when this symbol appears. So, yep, exactly right. We're all here to learn. We all came with special intuitive abilities. I don't believe there's just one or two people that have a channel doesn't make you the expert. It just means you're very open right now. You know, and they say when you cross over, I can't remember the guy's name, it was Ebenezer something, but he was a neurosurgeon, and he said that neuropsychiatry is a new and expanding era. It's a new and expanding field. There's not many neuropsychiatrists out there who study the psychic or the paranormal, which is from a higher power. Once you die, he proved it, he believed it, but he actually had to have a near-death experience to basically go, yes, everything that I've believed in, that there is some people that are psychic, came through for him, and he died on the table, came back with this window open, this hole, these doors that open, like, you know, you access another part of the brain because you've severed, you had a stroke or you've had a something, and your brain doesn't come back the same way because you've died and come back. And this is why you can see things on the 3D and the 5D, because they, funny enough, it's not like it's time is not linear, it's not a straight line. It actually circles up. So you could turn a corner, and this is what I was speaking about to a friend of mine. The book's called The Silver Method, and it's true. If you get the vision on your peripheral, on your left side, the peripheral is actually a future event. there's coming. If you see a flash of someone on your peripheral, if it's on your right side, right hand, which is usually west, so the east is future vision, west is already happened. It's in a loop, and you standing in the middle and trying to figure out which way it's coming from or how to read it. You can usually tell because you'll see yourself older or younger. It's like the movie Sliding Doors, and she goes home and discovers the boyfriend's having an affair. If she had have not caught that train because she forgot something at home, she wouldn't have discovered it, and her whole world turned upside down because she chose to do a different path. The other one was The Time Traveler's Wife, one of my favourite movies. Eric Bana's in it, and he plays the guy that disappears because he's so frightened. He has a seizure, like an epileptic seizure, and he disappears from the 3D into the 5D, and then he's taken back 2 weeks beforehand to try and warn himself of a coming event. The problem is he can't change it because it's an event that's already happened. Because he tries to go back and change it. It's the most incredible book I've ever read. And they go to a geneticist to try and figure out why he can do that and how to stop it from happening, how to keep him on this plane. And then he sees his future child. And because he doesn't want the child to have the same affliction as him, he decides to have himself neutered. Yep, he has a vasectomy. So, because she knows the time frame, the younger girl that he ends up marrying, she goes back in time before his vasectomy and has intimate relations with him so they can have the child that she's wanted. And it's just a fascinating to me, because I've done it with my own son. Saw him before he was even here. I knew what he was going to look like. I knew about his curls. I knew he was going to be one of the fallen ones from the Twin Towers. He was under an angel's wing on this huge tower with all this rubble. And I woke up, I was 8 months pregnant, switched on the news, and we watched the Twin Towers. Because I was so shocked at the dream. It was like a mini movie. And then my Uncle Robert came through and says, "Where's your mum? I've got to talk to her." And he was young again. So I knew that I was seeing past visions because I don't know. I was extremely psychic when I had my second son. Not so much my first son. However, I did pick up my Uncle Robert's death before my son was born. I went to warn him. It was a heart attack, and he did have one. The third one. I tried to warn him. I went up there and I was crying to him, and he didn't believe me, and then it happened. So, you can't always prevent things from happening. Sometimes we're made to just stand by and watch, and I don't know why. Maybe going on, that's all I can do. That's what I do for Earth. Sun, moonlight, I forgot to myself. Moonlight Madness, Sun, Moon, Rising. Deck that I've with Oracle deck, The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Those are the cards of the high power and round. So that's what I have for Earth sign. You may be recuperating right now from an illness, and it's saying you're going to get well. You may look at different types of therapies, meditative therapies, breathing techniques, ways to keep you here on the physical plane instead of on the 5D, on the theta level, and the alpha level. The beta level is where you're wide awake. If you're half asleep, if you walk around half asleep, pretty much you're still half asleep because your mind's not completely here. There's exercises you can do, which I've tried. They don't work on me. I just go off and I can't stop it. So I just have to live with it now. I've just accepted it. So those are your messages. Look into the natural therapies if you can. I find a lot of vitamins are really good if you're trying to clean out a system of toxin or toxic build-up from stress. I would work with a compounding pharmacist to fix the problem first with medication because it's extreme. Say it's, I don't know, cancer or something, 4-stage cancer. Yes, get the medication first, and then they slowly wean you off the dosage once you get well, and look at putting alternative practices in alongside with the medical practitioner. So herbal supplements, compounding pharmacy. There's one across the road from where I live, and I believe in what he says. It's all about probiotics and breaking down sugars and fats, boosting your immune system with vitamin supplements, which is really good, like fish oil, good for blood thinning if you've got a heart condition, like me, or aspirin. Cool. You know, you can do both. I always used to do fish oil supplements, which is good to help thin the sugar out in the blood to stop high cholesterol. That's what I have for you for Earth Science. I'm rambling. Have a good day.